Hi guys, Rick Shaw here. We got a beautiful blue sky day. Doesn't seem like it's going to get too hot today. I really don't believe that. Sun feels really good, nice and warm. And I took my big walk today, but I'm gonna take a short one. And I wanted to talk about something that's on the comments. I've been getting a few people questioning this, and it's about cars and cams. One thing here on a lot of the used cars I've looked at here, if a Filipino has a good car that he took care of, he wants a super high price. Just because I hear him say this line that I've heard in the United States too, it's better than new. It's silly, there's nothing better than new. But that's what they want. Now, people who lose their car, and it goes through a long process where a car will sit forever, and having a car sit, like if you go down to CarMax here, I wouldn't touch a car at CarMax. They've got a foot of damn dust on them. They don't move. It looks like an impound lot, you know, so you got to watch for that. And folks who sell them, if they've got a good car, they're going to sell it to somebody in the family or a really good friend. They're not going to let that just go out to the general public that I've seen. I had a friend who went to buy a car. I looked at it. It had some red flags. I said, don't buy it. He was calling me at 2 in the morning because he went back and bought it anyway, and it was broke down, and he just lost a fortune on it. Just ridiculous. So you got to be careful. Look very good for red flags on any car if you're going to buy a used one. And they don't really, it doesn't seem like they do trade-ins here. Here's what happened to our walking spot. That's pretty much gone now. Of course, it's nice that they made the gate like a ladder so we could easily climb over it, but they got it all barricaded off so that the bikers can't get into development. So that's good. I don't know if you could see that dog underneath there, but garbage men didn't come yesterday, and there's another one under there. These people in this corner, we got a hold of security again. They need to clean these dogs out. Garbage is just all tore up around here. The sweeper guy was going around this morning. He's way late because he's been sweeping up all the garbage. You know, it's just really getting ridiculous. And there's the house that owns all these dogs. They just leave them run loose. They lock them out, and they run loose and tear the garbage up. So our garbage we put in so it didn't get tore up last night. But it's a shame. But the other thing too about here, cam. I had a lot of people say, oh, you know, you should set up a GoPro or put your camera on here. Well, there's a better way to do it. They sell for very inexpensively the camera. It goes on your rear view mirror, snaps on. It's got a cord that goes to the back. Gives you like a 180. I think it said on the front one was 170 and the back one was 180. Gives you really good coverage. Says that it saves the recording if you whack it, if it detects an accident. So I tried it. I was holding it in my hand. I slapped it like that real hard. Sure enough, it saved. It saved like a whole bunch of the recording instead of just looping over. It takes a 64 card. I put a 128 in it to see, and it still worked. So, but that's a really cool thing to have. It's a nice camera for the money. It was a little over $20. So, you know, have that in your car, because if you get in an accident here, they could take you to jail. I mean, if somebody's hurt badly or anything like that, yeah, and you'll sit there until it gets adjudicated. You know, the court system here is ridiculous. And as a foreigner, I hate to say it, but this is what happens. They look at you, hey Vince. They look at you like a cash cow, so they're automatically just not going to pay. They're going to blame you for everything. If I'd had the cam when the motorcycle hit the side of the car here, he'd have lost immediately, because he came up from behind and tried to cut across, and he hit me here. But because there was a dent here with his handlebar, he lied and said that I ran right into him. And the cops, they looked at me, even though I had 3 witnesses in the car, four witnesses, excuse me. I had 4 witnesses in the car, 2 Filipinas and 2 guys from Sweden. Cops didn't care. You're guilty, pay them. Guys, it's what happened. It's just what happened. And if you don't think they're going to be biased against you here, it's not been my experience. Hey, maybe some of you other vloggers or foreigners out here, you had a different experience. I'm telling you what happened to me. And somebody wants to say, BS, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's what happens. So, make sure you got it. If you do get a car, you get a cam on it. I would. I like the idea of having a car, being an American here, but I probably would have rethunk it. I have a great car. It's a super duper car, that's for sure. Fits us all very nicely. I actually have a buddy that has that little super tiny Hyundai Picanto, and he was really impressed. The turning radius on this, it's not like the old cars. I had one of the first front drivers back in the 80s. It was a Ford, and of course I got it. It had 3 motors. It had a 1600, a 1900, and a 2000. And I'm like, I'll get to 2000. And the guy down there says, hey, guess what? It's this 1900. That's the race motor, and we got parts for this. And slowly but surely, I put the parts on. But that car, when you hit the gas, it torque steered so bad. It was horrible. It wanted to just rip the wheel out. The power steering unit, the fluid on it, I'm a fluid checker. I wound up going with the synthetic power steering fluid in it just to keep from beating it down so quick. It was just constantly on that oil filter. You speed up, it pulled one way. You let the engine brake, it pulled the other, because it was a high compression motor. So, that was a real bummer on that one. And then it turned like a truck. This is no kidding. I had a Chevrolet 4x4 truck at the time. It was 78. It would turn around in the same space as that little teeny tiny car, and you could put that car almost in the bed. Yeah. So they really come a long way. This car, it's front wheel drive. It's got a 1500 motor in it. It's a fantastic motor. It's Honda Motor Corporation. It's a fantastic motor. It gets up and goes. No torque steer. You can put your little pinky finger on that steering wheel and floor it as much as you want. It's not really torque steering. Turns on a dime. It has rack and pinion steering in it. And I'm going to do a review on the car pretty soon. But we do have. I don't think I have the key. But there's the little cam right there, if you can see it. That's the little cam I bought, and you can adjust it a little bit. But we definitely wouldn't have had to pay that motorcycle rider for the accident. Sometimes though, with the accident, it's easier. If it's a minor bump or something, it may only cost you 1,000 pesos or 2, and just to eliminate any kind of headache at all and stay off the radar, just pay the guy and leave. That can happen. We actually, well, it was just me. I was coming home from work, and I was right behind an accident, and it was a foreigner fella. And he did smash into the other guy. I mean, I was right there. If they would have asked me, I'd have been a witness for it. The guy had the right of way, and he was looking behind him to the right, and he pulled right out and hit the guy. And I was dead behind him. And the car that he hit was dented pretty good. I was looking at that thinking, in the States, it would have been $1,000 worth of damage or more. But they got out, and being that it was a foreigner, I believe he was German or something, but he was speaking English, broken English. I can help you guys. The fellow who got hit in the front, he wanted 1,000 peso, and I'm telling this fellow, you pay him, just pay him, and he did. He paid him. He just paid him, and they went about their way. And the traffic cops were there. It was on a busy corner, and they were like, "That's all good." They slapped their hands together, kind of like Pilate, and away everybody went. So, that sometimes that might be the best thing to do if you get into a small fender bender, but you don't want to wind up in anything here in the penal system. The jails here are ridiculous compared. They're not Western jails. I've seen one of them where there's the space in the States, it would have been good for 4 people, and I'd say they had about 30 crammed in there. No toilet. If you had to go, you had to go out somewhere or go in a bucket. It's just ridiculous. It's not Western. It's not the Western world where, of course, the crime here, I don't think per capita, I don't know the numbers yet, I'll have to look, but crime per capita, I don't believe is as high because the jails are so bad. In the States, I saw a fella, this was an interview from years ago before I come here, and it was this fella that he got out after this long sentence, and they said, "You got out and immediately committed a crime." And he said, "I didn't feel safe out there." And he said, I couldn't take it. They wouldn't keep me. So he went out, grabbed a gun, and robbed a store and waited for the police. And they arrested him and threw him back in jail. He wanted to go back. And he said, "Man, I would have to go to work. I'd have to, be feared for my life." And he said, "Here, I got 3 hots and a cots. I got no worries in the world." So some of them, they want to do it. I think the States is promoting it. I truly believe that jails should be absolutely draconian and terrible, so that you don't want to go there. But they make them real nice here. I went to visit somebody one time in a correctional facility. It was in Illinois, and was talking to him. It was a buddy I was in the Navy with, and he got into a scrape where he got over a year, so they don't keep him in a county. They put him in the thing. I think he got 2 years for something. Won't say what, but went to visit him, and I thought, oh, it's really bad. This is when I was a young man. It's really bad. He goes, no, it's actually, I'm going to enjoy this. He says, I'm really going to enjoy it. He says, the food's not bad, and he goes, I got a TV, I got my own little locker. He says, they come and check it every now and again, but I'm not going to do anything wrong. He says, they put me in with a cool guy. There was 2 of them in a room, and he said, it's not a cell door, it had a key. He said, we can lock our door so nobody can come and take our stuff. And he goes, we got a big open area in the bottom. And he said, it's real nice. We can play cards, we can play chess, we can play checkers. He said, it's a vacation. He said it was better than being on the ship. That's what the guy told me. So, now this was years and years ago. Who knows, it might be better now. I don't know what they're doing. But we are having a beautiful day. I wanted to get that across to you about the cars. We've seen a few of them for sale, but you can get some that are good. One of the cars that I would recommend are those little Suzuki microvans with the 660 motor. If you're looking for a local running buggy, something just about town, I would recommend one of those. I fit in them, so if you're a real tall guy, big guy like me, worry not. I've got in many of them. I can drive them. There's room. I wouldn't want to get in an accident in them because I think they would just pick the whole thing up with a magnet and bury you in a hole somewhere because they'd be picking you out with tweezers. But that's a feasible thing, and you can get them. I've seen them from $230 to $280. They bring them in here. They completely refurbish them, paint them, make them look really cool, and put them out. And the Filipinos do a good job. And parts anywhere, oil filter, all the stuff you need, you can get anywhere here. Tires are cheap. Everything about them is inexpensive, and they're running about everywhere. A lot of them are used for delivery vehicles. Some of them they make into little pickups. So there's a really good option on something that would work good. Another vehicle, if you want to go inexpensive, is the Alto 800. I'm 6'8". Guess what? I fit in that thing perfect. This little car we got right here, it's like beautiful. It's so comfortable. I can do really long trips on it. Now, when I was in the Alto 800, guess what? There's no room behind me because I got the seat all the way back, but I can sit straight up. I don't got to lean the seat. It's a comfortable little car. The dang things actually ride pretty good. They got a little bit of stance up off the ground a little bit, I guess for the Indian roads. And it's a dang little thing rode good. I think it had just single action shocks on it is why it rode so well. A lot of these cars, they try to tighten up the suspension and they put these dual action shocks so you get a harsh ride over these kind of roads we have in these countries. Well, if you put just a single action on there, that'll really smooth them out. I actually had my 50 Plymouth, and I went ahead and thought, I'm going to be smart, and I bought these really good Gas Magnum Monroe shocks and put them on there, and it absolutely ruined the ride. It ruined it. So I went ahead and talked to the spring guy, because I had the springs all redone on that. There was a spring place where we lived, and he got the specs for it and just made me the stock springs for the vehicle. I had him put one extra leaf in for the back, because I wanted it a little tiny stiffer. And he did go up one gauge on the springs in the front. They were coil springs. And he said, just go down to Napa and get yourself the single action. That's what this car needs. And as soon as I and they were $6. The shocks were only $6 each. I put those babies on there, and then it was like a big Lincoln again. That used to be the race car, that Plymouth Cambridge. They raced those back in the day. And the old flathead 6 motor still runs like a charm. The last time I saw it, when I was there, threw the battery in it, and turned on the headlights. Yep, they're working. And turned the key, fired right up, cranked right over and fired right up. And it's just got an old set of Champion plugs. It's pretty much all original. It's got the big oil air cleaner. It funnels through oil. It's got the oil filter. It's like the lid on a 55-gallon drum. You just loosen up the binding screw that has a big thing that wraps around the oil filter. You pop that off, and it's got a sink scrunchie. I was looking for one of them at Napa, and the Napa guy, Napa Joe, we called him, real cool guy. He said, "Well, why would you pay this? They want $28 for this." "I get it for you, but it's $28 because they got any part for that Napa." He goes, "Just go across the street to the grocery store and buy yourself a scrunchie. One of them pot scrubbers, those little." So I did. I bought one, and that's what I put it in. He goes, "Just clean it." I don't know why I thought I had to change it. Young, but had that car for so long. Had that thing for many, many years. Loved that car, but I wish I had it here. Wish I could bring it here, but bringing thing here is, I don't know if any of you guys know about bringing stuff here, but I got all kinds of ridiculous prices for bringing anything I want, import taxes and all that. You could probably bring stuff, but I heard when I got here, and even before I got here, of people we knew that were here, and talking to other folks that it's just ridiculous what they want for customs, and they're going to charge you this 100% tax. And even if you buy, like I wanted to bring a bike, I paid $1,500 for the bike. Okay, fine. I want to bring it here. I'll pay if it's $1,500 tax plus the shipping. I'll pay it if it's $100, because then I got the bike I want here. Guess what? They don't go on what you paid for it. They go on the book value. And if there's not a book value, they'll assess a value. And it's like an extortion thing. Why they don't let you bring them in here as a foreigner, I don't know. Maybe they're afraid they're not going to get the work. I know Kawasaki's got a big plant down here they work on, but it's a shame. But I started off talking about the vehicles in the rear view cam. If you're going to drive here, don't drive here without a cam. I did, and it was at my own peril. I will have, when I get on the bike, I will have this camera right here. I will have it on me at all times running, and I'll just edit out what I need for the videos and stuff. But I'm not going to go unprotected anymore. It's just too ridiculous what can happen to you here. You're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy, when you come here. This is a whole nother world, and you don't want to find out things the hard way. Go to a lot of these sites. There's a lot of guys on here that have really good sites about their experiences here in the Philippines, not just mine. Look around to a whole bunch of them, and you'll start finding out what's going on and can discern the information that works for you. I get a lot of people ask me about health care. I don't know too much about it. I had it through actually work here that covered me really good. Never covered the C-section. The insurance I had right before the baby was born, they changed it to where it didn't cover, and then after the baby was born, they changed it back, and then the next one was born, and so I had to pay cash for that. But no, it was no big deal. It wasn't that expensive. It was like, I think we paid 60,000 pesos on average for each of them, which is a little over $1,000. I didn't think it was too bad. Not too $1,500. So that's not too bad. But I will be looking for health insurance. Right now, my insurance in the States, they will not cover me out of the country. They won't put my pension in my account here. I've been trying to get the bank to say, hey, I want to do. They got these bank transfers now at the credit union, and I want to go ahead and do that. And they just refused to answer me on that. Morning. And so I don't know what's happening. I use TransferWise now, but I hope all this works out with this money stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I think I'm getting this a little bit too long. And there's our wonderful Chinese thing that we bought. And there's our neighbor's workman. Well, the dude came up and swept all the garbage, but these dogs, I'm hoping they just clear them all out. I don't care if they come in. When we were up at the circle, the dudes came through. Some of them had the thing that grabbed the dog around the neck, and some of them had homemade spears. So, and also somebody asked me about my dog stick. I figure I better show you this while I got it. This is what I carry. I'm going to put it right here so you can see it. It is not bamboo. It's rattan. I put the reflectors on it for at nighttime. You know, I could wave this when we're walking so they can see us. We have some really nice reflectors. They'll wrap around your arm. They're like a little piece of metal, and really good 3M reflectors. I put those on the kids when we're walking at night, and they're pretty much listen good. When I say get over the side, they right over the side with me, because I don't want to get them run over. And people here, a lot of them just go too fast, even in a neighborhood like this. There's no policing. When there's no policing or cops around, Filipinos are going to do what they want. I had one fellow that would come through here at 50-some kilometers per hour on this little street on his loud Mio, orange one. And he would go down to the end down there, and like delivery guy, and finally I every time I tried to catch him, he took off. So I went down to the guard. I had got a shot of him when he went by, showed it to the guard, and the guard had his license. So he's been banned from coming in here. He's a delivery guy, and he's not allowed to deliver in this area because of that. And I caught it. I went ahead and caught that on the cam. I actually had it on the car camera. I heard his bike from down there, and this thing takes too long to get out and started and ready. So I just turned the key on, and that camera automatically went on. I aimed it towards the street, and there he come by, and you could see how fast he was going. It was just absolutely ridiculous. So, and it's just like one of the comments we had about somebody was saying in their area where they live, yeah, when they walk up by the police or anything, yeah, everybody's got their mask and their shields on and in the S&M, but as soon as they get away from that, nobody wears them. Nobody's buying this baloney. So, but here I go, just keep rambling on and on with you guys. I just want to get you as much information as I can, and we're getting our day started, so I got a little time. We all just finished breakfast late today. We all slept in until the sky. I slept in until the sky was blue again, and the kids, we had a really nice breakfast. Mama cooked us a good breakfast, and we're getting ready to start. I'm going to see if I can do a walkabout today. My walkabout yesterday turned into a drive-about because of no place to parking. And honestly, I think a lot of folks would be happier if you just didn't even get a car here. If you're going to do a big trip, you can rent a car or a van. So cheap here with a driver. You pay them a certain fee. We did a trip one time down south, long trip down south. The driver, it was going to be 3 days. He wanted $1,500, and then it was your van. We paid the gas and the tolls, and you give it to him right there. And I don't know why he wouldn't fill the tank, but he would stop every other station and put 500 peso in. I don't know why he just didn't fill the tank for us, but that's what he did. And so it was really cheap. The entire trip for us was really cheap for your everyday stuff. I want a tricycle again. I don't want to deal with having to take this out. When we move and get a tricycle going, this thing's going to park most of the time, and I'm going to go ahead and have a bike too. I want to get a bike too. The bike I'm getting now, it's been over 2 weeks. They're supposed to be getting me the part. I'm going to go, if they don't do something here in the next day or two, I'm just going to pull pull the money back out and say, screw you guys, and get it from somewhere else. I'm not happy with how long they're taking for this. They promised it wouldn't be 2 weeks. 2 weeks is over, and it's just on and on and on. And this is what they'll do here. This is what they'll do in the Philippines. That's why don't give them all the money for anything. And they'll tell you, no, you can't have it back. Nope. I had that girl. I said, I can get my money back. Yep. Oh, good. I'm going to write this down on paper. I want you to sign this. Oh, no, sir, I can't sign it. Somebody's going to sign it. So we went back, and the manager just scribbled their name on it. They do a real weird signing here where they write their name and then they sign over it. Written name over printed name. It's different than the U.S. But so I think I might run down there today if they don't have the dang thing and just get the moolah back and just wait till after we move. I guess I don't like when they run you around here. If they kept saying they wanted to get the Yamaha one. I don't care. Go get me the aftermarket one. It's probably made by the same company in China anyway. Just get me one. I just want them to put it on. So that's where we're at with that. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Beautiful day. We're getting a few clouds over there now. Just little puffy ones moving through. A little bit of a breeze. And this is Rickshaw saying, don't forget to pray for each other. Don't be hating. I go back and forth. Some people don't have the views as me, but we're still talking, which this is the way it should be. We have differing viewpoints, but we're still talking, and that's the way it goes. And so I'm going to let you go. Rickshaw out.